Now hold me back, hold me back.
Oh my gosh.
We're not ramping out shit.
Time. In the building. In the yard. In our YouTube. You know what I'm saying?
You know the deal.
Act shit. But we back again. But before we get into it, you should know who
Gang.
you're dealing with, man. you should know the la levels.
Yeah.
You know about the la levels.
Yeah, it's Johnny.
On this side.
I'm a chormy.
Yeah?
Ni Okain.
Just don't forget the name. Write it down, man.
You know already.
And
on that side?
just keep it simple as Niamatego.
Ni Ama. I would say the one and only, but coming from a coded naming system, there's quite a few. But we're quite unique out
here.
But
you know about the basic tribe that ayo.
Let's keep on a need to know and that. But yeah, here we are once again. We're back.
We here again. We're about to tell you about
Christmas has come.
Yeah.
We've done New Year celebrations. We've done resolutions.
Done it all, man.
January is already coming to an end. Today is what? Almost the end of January now.
Fam.
We're gonna hit February. February starts. What's our focus in February? February's got 28 days. No. There might be a full moon in February sometime. No.
That one's there.
On the 14th day of February though. Significance.
Is that what you call Valentine is coming?
Valentine. Hey, my Valentine is coming up.
Valentine, come on.
Hey, Valentine. Hey, Valentine.
Anyway,
But for you to get to Valentine's Day though, for those of us that want to be making sure we're sleeping and cuddled up with a warm body next to us.
Yeah, man.
You need to have some sort of relationship.
You know them ones? Yeah, that's the topic we're about to go and dive into.
Relationship, dive into it. Swim.
But yeah, man, seriously, relationships are very complex, man.
They're very complex, but for the basic definition, and I say basic is just to say at the lowest level what a relationship is a connection, between two or more people or things. So the connection between two or more people or things. And obviously this connection can be through blood, through marriage, through kinship, or through romance or romantic relationship. There are so many permutations when you consider relationships. Like, let me repeat that again.
Say it again!
There's so many permutations when you consider relationships.
God damn it.
There's so many facets of it. So at the end of the day, we are going to focus on the top 4 of relationships. We're going to focus on family. Definitely. We're going to focus on acquaintances, or what you call common relationship, or casual, I should say, relationship.
Casual.
And we're going to obviously look at friendships, and then we're going to look at the big boy itself, romantic relationships, because that's where most of the issues that arrive in relationships occur.
Oh, definitely. When you hear the word relationship, you just think, my wife, or my lover, like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Some people are, you see the newly loved ones, they're like thinking, wow, experience hasn't hit you yet. I haven't met you yet.
So why is there a need to relate though? Why do we need to have relationships? Are we, as human beings, can we operate as an island? Can we be born into the world separately without our mother or father, in fact, conceiving us? Can we then come into the world in our early stages of infancy or being toddlers? Are we going to be dependent on our family, our grandparents? Can we be born into this world of our own volition, come into this world and have this journey of life without relating to anyone whatsoever? Is that possible?
It's not possible because we are not wolves.
This
is not a wolf mentality.
There's no lone wolf here.
Trust me, no wolf here. You don't get thrown into the wild. You have to fend for yourself 24/7. Listen, we're a community. We come together, whether it's romantically, friendship, family, or casually, just casually. That's the essence of a relationship. I feel like the strongest thing for me in a relationship is communication.
Communication is key in all aspects of life, especially in relationships. But expand on it, my brother.
Communication is a very vital part of relationships. I feel that's the thing that can make or break relationship.
Definitely.
Because lack of communication leads to misunderstanding, confusion, just all that kind of...
And a lot of assumptions. I've been told, assumptions has been the key instrument in most breakups. Because people have assumed without necessarily hearing or having a direct conversation.
And that's when people jump. When I say jump,
to conclusion.
Fact, somersault. My father used to say jagbeshi.
Jagbeshi.
Somersault to conclusion.
Over share.
I can see me.
So, we've made it quite clear that yes, as human beings, as social beings, we need to relate.
Yeah.
And when we are relating, we need to be clear about how we communicate.
Yeah.
Minimize assumptions. Obviously, after spending some time with people, you get to know their traits, you get to know their behaviors, and you can make educated guesses. But do not take this as concrete. Okay? Make an educated guess, have an idea of what their response is going to be, but still interact with them. And that as a basis of relationship would lead to a successful and fruitful relationship. However, we don't want it that easy, do we?
Oh yeah, of course.
We want to experience life, don't we?
You want to go on the high life?
We want to, it be with family, be with friends, be with romantic acquaintances or associations. We still want to go through the hard way,
man, because some people feel like, oh, you have to accept me for me, Whether, even if it's in family or especially romantic, you have to accept me for me, You have to accept my flaws. I'm not perfect. You have to take me for who I am. Yeah. So you can't just behave yourself and pattern up.
Okay.
You can't. Let me not even get into it too deeply. The 4 topics are coming up: family, acquaintances, romantic, and then the friendships.
Yes.
But
we'll be diving into them as we said earlier. Diving. Yeah. And we'll get
front crew, back stroke. You understand? The butterfly. Listen. They didn't even know my Olympic swim. Olympic? Them call me. Bang. In the building.
You already know the levels.
You already know.
Gang.
Yeah. They know what to. Let me give it to them. They was there, little quick taser. But anyway, we're back again.
We're back at it,
Obviously, you saw the introduction to relationships and
just to kind of set the tone, innit? Set the context and
we said there was 4 topics we're gonna dive into.
We did a bit of a swim, I'm about to dive deep.
Yeah, exactly.
You understand?
See, my father taught me swimmology and diveology.
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna really do scuba diving.
So
scuba diving into romantic relationships.
Romantic relationships. I know right now you're getting certain emotions. You get me? Certain feelings are rising up to the surface. You're feeling a certain way, some very memorable.
Oh yeah.
Regardless of it being good or bad, but still, you definitely have something, a tinge of either frustration, a tinge of celebration, or feeling like, I
had a good time, man.
Well, I guess I might just be talking about myself and just, expecting people to be thinking the same. But anyway, so from a romantic relationship point of view, though, like a baseline definition of a romantic relationship is obviously it's a relationship. And it's between 2 individuals, regardless of their sexual orientation. And this is further, I guess, compounded by the fact that there is a level of physical contact, a lot more than you would have with any other person. And also, there is that frequent communication, pretty much day to day, not necessarily hour by the hour, but most people would prefer that depending on the gender. Some genders more than others, but once again,
we don't discriminate.
Each their own.
To your sense of Israel, if you want to be biblical.
So
biblical here.
Biblical.
Yeah, fam.
It's biblical, just in case.
Listen. My mom and dad said biblical, so I'll follow suit. Yeah. They say when you train a child,
I wasn't laughing, Mom. It was him. So, just in case, on top of having that the relationship between individuals, regardless of their sexual orientation, further compounded by the fact that there's that level of communication almost on a day-to-day basis, there's also a physical attraction. You're attracted to that person. And there's also physical contact. And this physical contact normally expresses itself in the form of hugs, kisses, cuddling, and obviously the ultimate sexual intercourse, which happens a lot, regardless of a relationship being defined by. That's all.
Some say it's the holy grail of a romantic relationship. For me,
the holy grail of romantic relationship. But again,
I don't know what's going on because I'm see my mom's watching right now, so I don't know what's going on here.
What is sex?
What's sex? What's sex?
Sex?
What's sex?
How do you spell it? Z-E-Z?
What's sex?
What's sex? Man, wait. On top of that physical attraction, there's also that the feeling and the sexual intercourse. There's that feeling of love, being in love.
Why I'm screaming it because being in love. Some people even are said to believe that they fall in love at first sight.
Yeah.
Please, it's luck. That's called luck.
My guy said lucky.
No, why I say it's luck here because if you go on and succeed in a romantic relationship, that's what I call it luck. But at first sight, it's not love, it's lust.
Lust, okay.
That's lust.
Okay.
Yeah, because you've seen them, and instantly you're not looking at their personality, how good they can cook, how good they can clean, unless you're in the kitchen right there. And then, more time you meet them at the bar, at the party, and stuff like that, and you don't see their personality. You don't see them just doing, like that. But it's lust right there, man.
So, I guess, to expand on what Nehemiah is saying is the notion of love. Love is not an adjective, it's not a noun, it's not something that you can just assign to people. It's a doing word, it's a verb. Action is involved in love. You can't just be in love. As I said, in my experience, the feeling of love is actually lust.
It's lust, but the verb love is you're doing actions, you're demonstrating your signs of love.
Yep, to be in it. But when it comes to sexual relationships, we have to make sure that we cover the entire spectrum, regardless of your orientation. Yeah. So this by no means reflects on our personal beliefs, but at the end of the day, that is accepted societal norms are.
Exactly. Like so we pick the traditional context of a man and woman because that's the one that's easier to kind of decode and
exactly.
analyze.
So I guess in every relationship there are roles played. You understand? In the romantic relationship as well, there are roles that will be assigned, be it subconsciously or agreed in essence by the two individual parties involved. And in most relationships, there's obviously the dominant, there's a submissive. However, that kind of interrelates depending on what environment you're in. Obviously in the bedroom, dominant, submissive, depends. Kitchen, dominant, submissive. And a family gathering, it all interchanges. And if you're in a relationship with someone where you have a communication with, where you have their support, you have their trust, and you respect each other, then that's the foundation of building a successful romantic relationship. Once again, the romantic relationship, what sets it apart is that level of communication, that frequent communication, that physical attraction, being in love, and obviously the sexual intercourse as well. So when you have these in place to make it successful, to last longer, for it to be something that is also sustainable, you obviously need to have their respect, you need to have trust, and you also need to make sure that old bridges, as they like to say, are burnt. And why do we say old bridges are burnt? Because when it comes to romantic relationship, especially because there's sex involved, especially because we are sometimes vulnerable, and then we share some of our deepest secrets or our deepest fears in order to get support, and then also in order for us to obviously grow together, we end up sometimes not necessarily bringing or talking about our past or previous experiences.
Because there's been a lot of situations, I'm not saying for me, but a lot of situations I've heard that, when you get in that new relationship, you get the one party or the other screaming about how the ex used to do this. There's so much comparison that comes into play, and that's when it becomes a bit tricky because the ex should not be, should not be packing the load of your exes onto the next one.
Just to completely add to it, it was an interesting article brought to our attention by our father, telling us about the smoking out ex factor, because exes now, by definition, have a key role to play, especially at the developmental stages of a relationship.
A new one that you've come recently, and you've come out of the recent one, and you've jumped into a new one, and the ex has the ex could be the make or break, whether that new relationship becomes successful or not.
And some people have brilliant relationship with their ex, and that normally stems from the fact that either they were already known to each other in a different context. Their relationship initially wasn't romantic, maybe it was a friendship relationship,
and
that then evolved and became romantic. So they can, after that romantic relationship doesn't work, because once again, what really defines a romantic relationship is the sexual intercourse, that physical attraction, and that communication. If those then break down, you can maybe then drop back into the friendship status and then see how that goes again. But obviously, if you're going to be in that friendship status and you're then moving into a new relationship,
boundaries have to be set in place.
Bonfires.
With these boundaries that have to be set in place is important, because if you don't set boundaries and you say, oh, he's my ex, but we're cool in it, we're just cool, but you're doing the same rule as the man or the woman you're currently with, as in you're holding your ex's hand, but also you're holding your man or woman's hand. That's where it becomes problems, and that creates trust issues for the current spouse you're with, for the current party you're with. and it becomes a confusing situation as in he doesn't know what to believe. You're saying that it's nothing, but you have that physical attachment as well as that romantic attachment to your former partner because you're feeling that, oh yeah, maybe it didn't work out because I was being too rash, I was being too this and do that, and that's where a lot of new relationships break down quickly.
Yeah. Because what happens is there's clarity rarely is defined. What I mean by that is at the start of a relationship, if you come in looking for it to be successful and for it to last long, then you obviously want to make sure you are clear about what their boundaries are, as you said, and you define the relationship as well. Okay. So you need to ensure that you're very clear about what the relationship is, what we're allowed to do, what we can't do, and what we're going to be working or observing. So the ones that we're just going to be fluid and flexible about and see what happens.
So it's important to have a very good discussion to identify what you want out of this or this problem, or not a problem per se, but out of this relationship. Like, if need be, make it a meeting. Put some biscuit down, put some tea, you want some water, you want some orange juice, apple juice, just sweeten it up and then go in. Because when you're having a business meeting, it's straight, no feelings attached.
There's no emotions attached. So just set your definitions, set your boundaries, especially if the ex is going to be involved. Exactly. Because at the moment, in most modern day relationships, especially of the Generation X type relationships, it's just a friend. It don't mean nothing.
It means nothing, man.
I'm calling you at 1 a.m. lying next to my current girlfriend. Why are you calling me at 1 a.m.? So is the person picking up the call more to blame or the person making the call? But so that's just a scenario created. I know we don't have the full picture of all those scenarios. The people living those scenarios are the best place to make the decisions.
But that's what makes it very tricky because there's a lot of factors, small little factors that add up to this whole cataclysmic state.
Yes, so
and it makes everything just a bit on edge. The feelings are really spiked up, tensions are high. You're chatting to the friend and listen, let me go into history. Innit?
So as you can tell, romantic relationship has multifaceted, and if you are choosing to get into
wait. I beg you repeat it. I just need to let time pass. I beg you repeat it.
So if you choose to embark on a romantic relationship, just be aware that it's multifaceted. And by that I mean that there's so many variables to consider, and you have to be fully aware of what you're going into. The person you're proposing to go into this relationship with, you then obviously need to have some sort of clarity. Put boundaries in place, have the discussions of the what if scenarios, and then obviously if the what if scenarios, the solutions you agree to do not necessarily play out that way, revisit it and adjust. That's what love really is. That's the doing of love. If you're really in love with someone, you love what you can build with them, or at least in my understanding of love, what I can grow. And what was Rumi that said or used a rose flower to define love? If you love a rose, or if you are attracted to the beauty of a rose flower, if you truly love and are attracted to the beauty, you don't pluck that rose flower from the soil to then keep for yourself in a book as a bookmark or something, because the rose has lost its essence. The beauty you saw of that rose that attracted you for you to then pluck it has now been lost. So if you truly love that rose flower, you keep it in that position that it is. But what you do is you add more to it. You water it, you trim it, you get rid of the edges. When winter comes, you protect it for that rose to grow. With my experiences, with my different types of relationship I've been in, I've been on both ends. I've been.
Sorry, I was just taken away by that analogy. That was just beauty.
It depends on what you choose to focus on in a relationship. As I said, some people know stress. I said we talked about the rebound. The
rebound conundrum. This is a very interesting theory of people, because how do I explain it in a way you understand? So both parties come together. One party is on the rebound side of things, and the other one is about getting to know and acquiring feelings from the other side. Now, those are things that don't match together, because one intention is completely different from the other one. And once you come to the middle ground, that's why it's important to have this communication and saying, what do I want out of this romantic relationship? Once you ask that question, Now it's down to both parties to come to a conclusion.
Yeah.
When both parties don't come to a conclusion, that's when one party has a misunderstanding, the other one has clarity. That's when things don't match, things don't work, and romantic relationship breaks down.
Assumptions
come into play as well. Say, oh, but I thought we were together. You hold my hand. You said I'm your girl. I'm the one. Error. Start again. Put a new coin in the start again, bro.
Again, the rebound situation, the ex situation, all of these can be sorted out with just clarity and communication. So we've given you a bit of our diving deep about
the scuba diving
of romantic relationships. We will be getting more deeper into the different types of relationships, and obviously Valentine's Day is on the horizon, and we'll be doing
Valentine's Day is coming,
and we'll be doing
that's when people create feelings out of nowhere, all nowhere. Oh, this man looks so attractive, man. I need to be taking out. Girls be flicking their hair.
Apparently, there'll be a lot of sliding in DMs. So be prepared.
You see how we dive into this subject? We're diving in DMs.
People will be trying to reach the Mariana Trench of relationships. For those that know that,
I don't know who.
they'll be going deeper.
Our objective is to get you to look at different perspectives of life. Remember, 4-dimensional world. They might say it's 3-dimensional, but it's 4. You must take 4 different perspectives and analyze the situation.
Got it.
Come on, bro.
Taking a liberty.
Bang. Ain't out of building. Ain't out of yard.
Jeez.
Ain't out of auditorium. You know the levels.
You already know the levels. Gang.
Come on, we out here.
You know already.
Again with another video. Free the consistency. Are you seeing the efficiency?
Exactly. Procrastinate what? Procrastinate what? We ain't got time for that.
We ain't got time for that. My mom will say, you have to be practical. You have to be what?
The H is silent.
You don't even hear it. You have to be practical.
I said it's so silent you don't even add it when we're writing.
Exactly. You have to be practical. You hear me? Practical.
So,
but yeah, we're back again with
another episode, obviously.
Jeez, but anyway, we're here today. We're looking prim and proper.
In all the places there. You know it already.
The levels. But anyway, we're back again on the topic of friendships.
Friendships, man.
Because we like to go deep into the different types of relationships, my romantic ones and stuff like that. Now we want to focus on friendships because there's different levels.
But first of all, at the basic level, what's a friendship? Or who do you call a friend? Someone you have a relationship with whereby you can confide in. And your reason why you're able to confide in is that they've displayed certain characters. They've proven to you that there's someone that you can trust. Someone that cares for you. Someone that respects you. Someone that is loyal. Someone that is trustworthy. Or have I said trust already? That's how important it is.
Yeah, trust is actually very important.
Exactly.
But
and someone that's honest and supportive. Exactly.
Those are what you call the foundation.
So you have 6 core principles or 6 foundations that a friendship should be built upon.
You know, some might say, you need 1 out of 6 to qualify as a friendship. Friend. For me,
you need all 6.
You have to clear all 6 for me. You want to be my friend? Clear all 6 for them.
Exactly.
And you need to be interchangeable. We have to be diverse out here.
Yeah.
You can't be carrying one straight and then the rest of the 5 is left unattended.
You have to be flexible. But in the same vein, if you're looking for those attributes, those characters from a friend, you should be in a position to also return. Those characters. You should have that feeling of reciprocity.
What?
Yes.
I beg you repeat that.
No, that's what I'm saying. In that same vein, if you're expecting someone or someone that you call a friend to display all those characters, to display all those behaviors, then you should be in a position to return that as well. It should be a feeling of reciprocity. It should be a mutual relationship.
Exactly.
Basically, what you give is what you get in return. So if you're given trust, the person is going to trust. If you're being caring, compassionate, all of these things come without saying. So a friend should be able to do that. On top of that, there should be that level of communication.
Yes, now that is the fundamental elements of every single relationship.
Regardless of it being friendship, regardless of being romantic, regardless of being just an acquaintance, even within a family, communication is key.
So key. Even from as little as an acquaintance, because I know some acquaintances that, when you see on the road, all you do is, that's it. That's the communication there.
We acknowledge each other whenever we see each other, innit?
Exactly, and that's simple communication there. You've shown respect for one another. You've acknowledged each other's presence and said, you know what, I respect you, and you also respect me to acknowledge my existence as a human being on planet Earth.
Exactly. It's so deep, yeah. If someone does that to you and you don't do it back, just know, innit?
Just know you.
I know the levels. The next time I see you, you ain't gonna get that neck movement from me.
Next time it's war. You might as well spit on me. You might as well spit on me.
That's how deep it is, fam.
Yes.
That's unwritten code.
Literally, unwritten codes and laws that we just have to follow and abide by. But communication is so important.
Because why do we say communication? Because we realize our friendships, there are different levels, there are different graduations of a friendship.
Tell them, get the degree, get the degree.
It's almost as if it's like it's a board game where you're stepping up, you're making progress. Yeah. You might start off as an acquaintance, or you might start out that you have mutual friends. Yeah. If you want to go into that social media world whereby your Facebook friend or your Instagram will be like, oh listen, you and this person have a mutual friend, so follow this person as well. Exactly. So you might start off as mutual friends, and then you move into, an acquaintance mode, and after acquaintance you start at the very bottom level of a friendship. We're starting to develop a level of a relationship, so maybe trust is coming in there, respect is coming in, care is coming in. Now I'm being a bit loyal because I'm protecting you, I'm being on your side when something's coming.
You see the level, the level up, you're climbing up the ladder. It's a game of snakes and ladders.
Because in friendship there's a lot of snakes.
You know them vipers, them pythons.
They'll be in the grass.
They'll be watching you because especially the snakes has been increased, has been elevated, has been amplified due to social media. When you claim, oh yeah, I've got many friends on social media, Facebook friends. Real friends.
Yeah, there might be a human being behind the computer, but as I said, there should be a level of contact with friendships. Physical. We're not talking sexual, just physical contact. Someone that you can give a handshake, you can hug. Someone that you can comfort. Someone that you can cuddle up to.
Even some traditions, like giving a kiss on the cheek. It's just a sign of that, we're very close friends, or it's classy.
Yeah, when you move out that friendship ladder, and now you're now moving into that BFF zone. You get me? You're moving into that best friends for life. You're moving into that matching bracelet, that tattoo, and all. You get me? There's different levels, as I said, different graduations. So once you graduate to that BFF zone, now you're now in that gray area where if emotions start to develop, we might be moving into that friends with benefits. Yeah. You understand? So we've moved up that ladder. We now got to that BFF zone. If you're opposite sex, same sex, whatever, I can trust on you.
We accept fluidity.
I'm the one you call on to, bad man your ex or whatever, and I do the same as well. So now we know each other's, perks. We know your wants. You know your likes and dislikes. We know what will sweep off your feet. So we're now in that zone where, if need be, we can be friends with benefits. But once again, you need to have a conversation.
For those that don't even know what friends with benefits are,
break it down for them, man, bro.
Friends with benefits
I don't know what that is.
Let's look at the traditional context.
Okay.
So between the male and the female, the two parties come together and say, listen, I want the trust, I want the honesty, the loyalty, all these 6 foundational elements. I want these things. But the perk I want on top of all these foundational elements here is I want a sexual interaction with you. That is what friends with benefits is.
I want that holy grail within reach. I mean, it's not part of the relationship, but it's close enough that if I need it, I can reach out and grab it. You understand? So especially when we're going through our dry patches, in a place where we both happen to be single at the same time, and we obviously have sexual desires. Obviously, we have needs that need to be met. Who else can I confide in? Who else can I trust? Who else can I, pardon my French, who else can I hold myself out to? You understand? Without any negative feedback, without anyone's talking about me going out and being promiscuous. So I'll now go to my friend, someone I know understands where I'm coming from, and at the end of the day it's just sex. There ain't no really emotions attached to it. Or is there?
That's where it becomes a difficult situation. That's where confusion comes into play. Because let's not lie, people. When you're saying friends with benefits, the perk of sex or zest, as some people like to call it, it's a sport, my darling. It's a sport. Some people say, oh yeah, let's get together, hook up. You're seeing it's physical exercise. You want to raise the blood pressure, you want to raise everything up, you want to amplify and say, I'm sweating. I've been told because mom was watching. But anyway, with the whole aspect of friends with benefits, it becomes very, very tricky, especially when feelings come into play, because when they're provided, they're ticking all the boxes. They've provided the 6 elements, the 6 foundational elements, in which you're confining in them as a friend, and then the sports known as sex in this context is good. You're enjoying it, you're loving it. You're thinking, raw. He or she may be the one. That's when you're like, oh, you know what?
Let's explore this further, innit?
Let's go even further.
But before we explore it, I don't want no label, innit?
Yeah.
I don't want us to call ourselves boyfriend, girlfriend, innit? I just want us to be exclusive.
Exclusivity.
But isn't the word exclusive itself a label? Let that sink in.
Listen, let it digest it.
So what do you mean by exclusive anyway? You mean I don't see no one else, you don't see no one else?
No, not necessarily that. Exclusivity in some context, they believe that, you know what, we have everything about relationship. We just don't have the title. You're not my girl, I'm not your man. It's just, we're together, you know. I have eyes for you, you have eyes for me in hypothetical senses. But however, we don't have the time. So when we go out and say, oh, if someone says, oh, you two together? Oh no, she's my friend, or he's my friend, or it's not like that.
But between the two of you, you have an understanding.
You have an understanding.
As long as the two of you have that understanding, of course, that's all that matters.
Oh, by all means.
Who else cares? As long as the two of you have that understanding. People will always try and assume and try and reach conclusions, but at the end of the day, in the grand scheme of things, that is irrelevant. As long as you guys know where you stand you can stick to those terms and conditions you've established.
That's why it's important to have that communication.
Yes, it is.
Like I said, by all means, sit down, business meeting. Let's discuss it. Bring the biscuit. The biscuit, if you want to be French. The biscuit. You know what I'm saying? My father.
If you want to be, if you want to go across the pond and be American, bring the cookies.
Bring the cookies, man. Bring the cookies. Sit down. Let's have some tea. Want some coffee? I need a cup of Joe in the morning. You know what I'm saying? I'm bringing all these. But you understand the context what I'm talking about.
You need the meeting. Yes, you did. Yeah.
You need to understand that, you know what, this is what I'm saying out. This is what I want. Like, say, literally, with your chest, this is how I would like our friendship.
Say it with your chest.
Bro, burn your chest out. You know when you're doing breakfast. Say it with your chest.
Yes, indeed.
This is how I want the friendship relationship to be.
Yeah.
Once you have identified your feelings and how you feel about this relationship or friendship, and the person gives it back to you, come to a mutual agreement in the middle, and you work things out. If you don't do that, that's why you get complications, confusion. But I thought, but I heard, and assumptions get made.
Exactly.
People are jumping and somersaulting to conclusions.
Because you need that reciprocity. It needs to be a mutual relationship. You have a mutual understanding, and we know where we both stand. So, friendships. There are different graduations. You may start as an acquaintance and end up in that BFF and eventually friends with benefits. Even you might get to that exclusive.
Exactly.
Trust me. All of this.
That area is more of the gray scale area. Like that's where. See, when it's acquaintance, oh, that's nice, light. When it gets to the friendship zone, maybe things start, coming. The dopamine just starts hitting your brain. Like, whoa, let's carry this friendship further and further. Then you get to the grey area.
When you get to that BFF and that exclusivity, hey.
You better start doing double takes. Watching your back. Like, what? How did I get here? Better watch yourself.
Last week we were friends. Now we're almost boyfriend, girlfriend.
How did that happen? Some people are so confused. What's going on here? I don't like it like that. I don't like him like that. They start crying and backing us. No, I wasn't ready for this. We're moving a bit too fast. Can we slow it down?
Exactly. So once again, it all comes down to communication, regardless of whatever conclusion you arrive at.
But some people do enjoy their friendship.
Having a beautiful friendship is an amazing thing to have. To have people that you can call upon, people that you know are there for you when you need them, and you know that you're there for them when they need you too. That's
what some people even have many friends that some people have the trustworthy friends. They have going out friends. They have the loyal friends. They have,
because it's rare nowadays to have all of those six
qualities.
Yes, those six qualities.
I have all the 6 qualities. So my mom will never allow me to have such only one quality in life. Am I marketable? No. Anyway, but that's not me either. But you know what? Friendships, the title brings a lot of pressure. It's up to you to take the pressure away from yourself. Exactly, and if the things that you're able to do, make it clear that you can. The things that you don't feel comfortable to do, just make it clear. Once again, it comes down to communication. So just be a true friend.
but be a friend that airs your opinion. Just speak.
Yeah, speak your mind. Like, we're all here to understand what social beings we here.
And if it's a true friend, they will understand.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's what you expect from them, isn't it?
Because at the end of the day, we want real friends or fake friends.
Yeah, we want someone that's understanding, but someone that's real and will tell you how it is, will tell you the deal.
Because those are the people that stick around you for life. Apart from your family. Bang, in the building, in the yard, in the auditorium.
Gang. You know there are different types of family as well, obviously.
Yeah.
There's obviously the nuclear family, the immediate family, we have the extended family.
Large ones.
Exactly.
Then was the next, then long lost uncle, cousin, sister. Oh my God.
Everyone is uncle, everyone is cousin. Yes, auntie, yes, uncle.
Yes, uncle.
How are we related again? On your mom's side, second cousin's third son's daughter, who then had a godfather who was then. Oh, that auntie, yeah.
That one, I remember.
I know that one now. So that's extended family. We have the reconstituted.
Yeah.
You see that one, we've chopped and screwed with the family unit. You know that you've officially been chopped and screwed, screwed, chopped and screwed. You've been reconstituted. But on a level though, that's a reconstituted family. This could be the step families, second marriages, whereby foster families as well, whereby there's already that nuclear family unit. But the mother or the family units, they're very compassionate. They like to support their community, so they have room in their space or in their homes, and they allow other individuals who don't have their own nuclear family to come and be foster brothers and sisters. And I had a very good friend of mine whose family were doing this, and you can see the impact it has when you're part of a family unit.
It's a different dimension completely.
Yeah, that feeling of support, having that shelter, having that food, having people to talk to, people that you can to confide in.
It's that safe house feeling, that kind of HQ. This is your home base, like that's where you kind of recharge. And then
exactly.
It's kind of like the foreground of how you kind of reflect. If those traits you carry in a relationship at home, like how you relate to your mom, your dad, your brother, sister, whatever the case may be, it helps carry you out and help build and grow friendships and romantic relationships.
No, definitely. In some aspects, you may say that the foundations of your family dynamics, in terms of the relationships within your family and how you yourself maneuver yourself within that family, normally has an impact on how you relate with other people outside of that family circle. Sometimes it's like for like, sometimes it's inverse, whereby you might be considered the black sheep of the family, or you might be the one that makes sure that things are popping, you're the plug. So you're able to relate that in life, whereby you're still the plug in your circles outside of the family, or within your circles outside of that family, you're still the black sheep, because that's how you're perceived within that family. So that psychological impact of how you may identify yourself within that family normally carries on to your how you relate to society as a whole as well.
There's also the single parent families.
Yes, which is quite dominant or predominant in the Western world, if you want to call it that.
Unfortunately, that's the case.
It might be becoming a lot more common everywhere, actually. Because equality is coming in. The whole male role within the family unit, the father figure, the male-dominated society that we live in. It's no more in it.
I can do a woman's job. Vice versa. A woman can do my job. Independency. We die together. Anyway, let's not go into that. Look at the situation that I'm sure you guys are aware of it. We'll go into it maybe later down the line.
So by a single parent family, that's why if you break it down to the basic level, what a family is there for and what the purpose of a family is there to do, obviously that psychological support, that shelter, that love, that compassion. If you can get that within that single parent unit, then that's fine. And although the single parents might be initially what it is, that single parent has their own parents as well. They have their own brothers and sisters. They have cousins
to make it less
that can contribute So they will probably end up forming more of an extended family network. But the start of it is with that single parent's family. And on top of that, we also have the childless.
The childless, where two parties come together and just agree, like, we don't need children, or unfortunately, probably they can't bear children. They're okay with that.
And they're not considering adoption, they're not considering surrogacy. They're happy to be uncles and aunties for their loved ones or for their brothers and sisters, but within themselves, an agreement has been made. They've had a clear communication. It's not that one of them is infertile and the other one has decided unwillingly to be like, okay, no children, and then on the side is making sure that they're getting some next children from the side check.
Another party.
And then when that pregnancy becomes public,
but you
said you didn't want children. You. I want children. I got you get me. So either way, clear communication.
Because even I even know of a teacher that obviously because she teaches children and that, so she looked at that and she was like, nah, I teach too many kids. Kids are like like,
so for her,
I can't do it. I can't live.
The environment that she spends most of her time in has completely switched her off from becoming, and that's it. That meant maternal instinct.
Because the funny thing is, we asked her, "Do you have kids?" She's like, "No." She said it with passion,
innit? And some people feel strongly about it. And for me, everyone has a purpose in life. Why do we come to? Yes, and not everyone is here to procreate. Or the only thing I throw back in your face is that if your parents had that viewpoint that you have currently, you wouldn't exist. And for those that are real, they'll be like, you know what? I didn't want to exist. And others will be like, well, I take the point, but either way, as I'm here now and I'm making that decision. With things, if you do want to truly find out, it normally stems from a good place. So the family unit, we touched on a few other different
you know what,
types.
I'll say that even like knowing you're not ready to have a child, like you actually understand that, you know, having a child is a huge responsibility.
Yes, it is,
Like, unfortunately, not unfortunately, so that's per se, but it's like, when you do get a child, it's like, there's a huge responsibility. You're looking after another life.
Yes.
Other than your own. This is not you're caring for your partner that they can take care of their life and you can take care of your life. This is someone that doesn't know anything.
So it's absolutely dependent on you, so
absolutely dependent on you, and that's where when a child grows up, it needs that guidance. It needs that guardian. It needs that protector. It needs that love, nurture, that foundation that you set in a family. That's where, you know, now, especially in my generation, there's a lot of back and forth. It's sometimes parents versus the kids. Parents versus the kids, where both parties don't understand each other per se. And that's where it comes down to communication and understanding. It's important to understand and communicate with your children, especially when they're going through the teenage years. Because those are the life-changing years that take place.
So it's a cultural tension is what seems to exist. What you may be alluding to, correct me if I'm wrong, is the fact that currently with your generation, there seems to be that tension between parents and the children, whereby the parents have a different approach, have a different methodology in terms of how they want to bring up the children, how they want to set up their life, how they see them progressing through life, because they've gone through the experience themselves as well. Being a parent, they're just making sure that the mistakes they made, their children don't make those mistakes as well.
That shows that element of love, but how are you going to express that to the child that you're growing up with?
And that's a bit that normally is a miss. The parents is taking on that high priest role of, I am the God of your life. So they assume that role, and within their own rights, as rightfully said, they've been providing for your care, comfort throughout your life. So they do have a stake in some of the key decisions to be made. Unfortunately, when you get to that teenagers where that rebellious spirit is kicking in, you're finding your own identity, you're beginning to know yourself. Exactly.
You want to find your adult identity. You want to be like, you know what, my parents are adult, how did they get to this point? I want to do it my own way. You know?
You want to experience it yourself. But so communication definitely, there should be some form of dialogue. This normally happens after the fact, as in an event has happened, and now because that event has happened, to avoid the repercussion that event led to, we now want to go back and have a conversation so that we avoid the flow. Let's say pregnancy is normally the case if there's a pregnancy scare and it doesn't happen. Okay, now let's talk about family, let's talk about wife, let's talk about the type of wife. That one we'll have that conversation. Or there's an arrest because of whatever
the case may be.
Okay, now let's talk about how you manage yourself in society. Let's talk about looking after your record. Those kind of things. So it's never proactive, it's reactive, isn't it?
They will act only when the situations occur. You know what, now is the time. You are now ready when the situations happen. Or rather than telling them, you know what, just walking them with that, holding their hand, rather than pushing them forward and say, okay, now you made that mistake, come a few steps back, and then now push forward, innit?
Even some people in my generation as well, and I put myself in that group as well, we felt like there was a disconnect. We had a different thing because we were, I think the large generation where respect for elders was still something that was installed in us from our childhood, from our infancy. So although we could identify that cultural tension, that disconnect from our viewpoints and our parents' viewpoints, we might do the things in the background. We might do it on the sly, and then Wesley in front of our parents will give them that, allow them to be in control. But now what is happening is that there's now a lot more pushback. Your generation ain't having it. They're challenging face to face, innit? And now, mom, I don't agree with that. For where? Me? Okay, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. But when I step out the building, out the door.
But that's what I'm saying.
But I come back home, yes, ma'am. Not anymore, fam.
That created a double lifestyle.
Exactly.
That was not really helpful.
It wasn't helpful. It wasn't. And further down the line, it might lead to depression. It might lead to some anxiety issues. It might lead to some trauma that you yourself haven't dealt with, and you're not able to be yourself. And honestly, that's not the best way. But that was how we managed. But now there's that straight up pushback. Nah, I ain't having it.
You know, the constant clash.
Yeah.
You know when 2 rounds are butting heads. That is how the situation happens sometimes.
As the saying goes, when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object. You get me? We're stuck. We ain't going nowhere. Exactly. Or it's a massive explosion. Yes, so the family unit at the moment is going through a lot. The family unit is under attack. Without trying to sound too negative, you can see it everywhere. That's at least the traditional family units, whereby there's male, female, they come together, they marriage or they partners, they end up procreating or adopting or whatever route they choose to then have children, and then obviously bring up those children, installing them certain principles and help them to grow up and become their own people as well. However, that is, I wouldn't say rare, but it's becoming more and more less the case.
I guess the question you have to ask yourself, what is the current condition of your family?
Yeah.
Once you ask that and identify that, question, I feel like working towards it just requires the small things like communication, understanding. Because as much as you want to confide in your family, does your family understand what your mindset is? Like,
are you all on the same? Are you on the same page? Are you walking together, or is it like disjointed? And as the saying goes, divide and conquer. So for me, it always comes back to that. Like, it depends on what your purpose is. You might have a brilliant agenda for your family where you think, yep, we have a plan in place. I want us to be able to achieve this. But are they on board? Have you discussed it with them? Have you, at least to the wife, to the missus, to your opposite half? Have you had that conversation with them? Are they on board?
And have you even considered the most important thing, which is environment? The environment you live in, the society you come
Tell me about it, fam. I've been ramping about this for a long time, fam. Your environment makes a huge difference.
Huge factor, because as much as a lot of traits you can inherit from your father, your mother.
That just sets the template. Again, what you inherit, that's literally the template. Your environment helps you to build upon that template.
And molds you into the person you become. Me and my brother lived in 2 different situations. And then, I lived one side of the world, he lived the other side of the world. We come together, we have the traits of our father.
But our mannerisms, our characters, our behaviors, our understanding of life, our understanding of etiquette, all of those things will be completely different based on the environment we find ourselves in. So although a family, yes, as a basic unit is the standpoint, or that's the start where you want to begin from. So there will be other members of the family extended that can also support, and not just by blood, remember, through marriage as well, through kinship as well. It can also be through romantic relationship, and currently at the moment the word family is very generic anyway. Obviously there's what it's meant to mean, but when you're in pop culture currently anyway,
the word family has it doesn't have its iron grip anymore.
Brother from another mother, all of those kind of sayings shows
it's now loose. You can call anyone your family, as long
anyone
as as long as they make you feel
supported,
like, that you're a unit, like you're stronger than just saying I'm a friend or I'm a best friend. Like there's deeper loyalty, there's deeper, like it's like you feel like you've grown up with that person. Or,
as long as you can depend on them, someone that you can
that's
depend
like your
on.
home. That's your other home, innit? Because like they say, home is where the heart is. That's family in a sense.
Definitely.
That's where people take pride in it by saying, "Oh, he's my family." He's one of the
exactly.
We go around saying, "Oh, brother." You know how many people have called
brother? Exactly.
And we even use the term so loosely. Oh, that's bro. Hey, bro. Brody. Fam, I've used it too many times. But at the end of the day, family's there, no matter what. Family is there to stay. Anyway, in some cases,
In some cases, obviously, we're not painting it with the same brush stroke.
This is we're talking from an ideal world perspective.
Yeah.
Because remember, 4 dimensions. They might say it's 3.
Right, it's 4 dimensions. You get me? It's about the what you can't see in it, what you can feel,
exactly.
And that's where most of our feelings about family normally comes from, is feelings. Feelings that there are people in some families that are fighting, like inside.
They argue,
and
even fist fights.
But they're still together, especially when they step out and they're in the public eye. They have to maintain a certain persona and maintain a certain image. So within internally, the family might be going through a lot of hardships and crisis, but externally they have to maintain a certain facade.
To show that no matter through the trials and tribulations, the love's still there.
Yeah. So why is that need? Why do we have that tendency to do that as a family? It shows you what I say now. My mum always used to say is that you don't go and wipe your ass in public. That's something you do in private. So although you might be going through, and excuse my French, might be going through shit within the family, you make sure you sort that out, clean it privately, and then when you step out, you're smelling fresh, so clean, so fresh, so clean. So you might even, you don't even, that's kind of issues with family. You don't even use tissue. You get me? You use a bidet. You get me? Get that water, make that temperature nice. Make sure it's.
Anyway, that was. He's a bidet. Do you hear the accent as well? I don't know. Anyway, done with relationships. I wonder what's next.
Oh yeah, we got more coming, fam.
We got more coming on the way. You don't know what topic is coming next, you know?
We can go deeper in it. We can delve deeper.
We can bring the political.
We just been diving in the shallow ends at the moment. You get me? Because some of us, when we're swimming, we need to make sure we can still touch the floor, innit? But if you man allow us, we'll go into that deeper where we have to tread water. You get me?
Tread
the water, innit? You get me? Or float. But anyway,
we out, over and out, baby.
Yes.